Welcome back to Tackett's House of Horsepower. It's me, Steve Tackett, and we are going to continue working on the little 283. We are going to finish assembling the maybe the rest of it all today. We'll have a long block ready to go. So let's get to it. So I want to do all the valve train and finish off the top end. So the first thing I do is I put the harmonic balancer on, and before I put the harmonic balancer on, I shot a little bit of paint behind it, so it looks a little nicer when we're all done. But get yourself a harmonic balancer installation kit like that. Pops on real easy, especially remember what I said, this crankshaft's been drilled and tapped, so I don't have to use anything to beat that on there with. I just use my handy dandy harmonic balancer installation tool. Now I do put a little bit of silicone on the inside of the harmonic balancer where the keyway is going to go. It will leak a little bit of oil there. And then speaking of oil, I put a little bit of oil on the outside where the seal is going to ride. So we are going to install valve train and adjust valves. To help with adjusting valves, I made my own little handy dandy tool here. What this is a pulley that we cut down, and I welded a socket to it. Why, you ask? I'll show you. Ta-da! An old pulley cut down, an old socket, and a MIG welder. And now makes it real easy to turn for adjusting valves. Well, like we talked about earlier, this is a hydraulic flat tappet camshaft, and I know I'm nervous too, but we'll get through this. So the first thing we want to do is we want to soak these lifters for a while, and it comes in a nice little plastic tray just for doing that. Take it, open up your tray here, and I don't know how important it is, but I like to turn it so that the little oiling hole is pointed up, because I want to soak these. I want the oil, I want all the air to come out of them. So take some of my break-in oil, and we're going to fill up this tray just like this. We're going to get these completely submerged and hopefully get all the air out of them. Just like that. And we'll let that soak for a while. See all those little air bubbles coming out right there? That's what we want. Well, while those are soaking and all the air bubbles are coming out, I'm going to go ahead and clean the rest of the parts. Now, just because something comes back and it's all nice and clean on the outside, inside is what really matters. Kind of like people. Anyway, the push rods have a hole going right down the center of them, and that's how the oil gets up to the rocker arm. So you need to make sure that that is clean. So go through, clean all the oil holes. Okay, I don't see any more air bubbles coming up, and like I said, I'm gonna prime the engine anyway, so I guess we can go ahead and drop them in. We're gonna drop all 16 of those in the holes, and as you do it, you want to make sure that they're nice and smooth. If it has any trouble going in or out, then stop. There's something dirty, there's something in there, you know. That lifter needs to be smooth. It has to, remember, it has to rotate when it breaks in. So if it's tight at all, stop. So this is what I'm talking about. When I dropped all 16 of these in, they just fell in by themselves. Like gravity can just pull it in. Like it should be that smooth. If not, then you're gonna have a problem. It should just fall in like that. You know what I mean? So I can't get these. Some of these are too low, but you get what I'm saying. They should just drop right in, and they should be smooth. If you can spin them nice and easy, all of them, check them. Because if not, they're not going to seat in right, and you're going to have a boat anchor. Next up, push rods, and they just drop right on in, just like that. Make sure it gets seated in the hole, and there you go. Next up is the rocker arms. Drop them on. Put the little half moon trunnions on there with a little bit of oil, round side down of course, and put your nuts on, but leave everything loose. Don't tighten anything yet. Well, we're ready to adjust valves. So how do I do it? I rotate the engine using my handy dandy tool there. What I'm looking for is base circle on the cam, zero lash on the rocker, and then I go half a turn on the nut. So what does that mean? What does base circle mean? First thing you need to know is what's base circle. If you look at some of these, some of them look like they're all the way down, and some of them look like they may be partially on a lobe. So you have to be 100% positive. Now, if I was to adjust this valve right now, and we're partially on that lobe, if I was to adjust it right now, what would happen when it rotates? It's going to be loose. So you have to be absolutely positive that that lifter is all the way down, that you're not on any part of the lobe at all. We call that base circle. Then I want zero lash, which means there's no movement at all in my rest of my valve train. I'm going to bring that nut down until I get zero lash, and then when I'm positive I've got zero lash, I go half a turn. Now, if it was more of a performance-oriented engine, you'd go less, like a eighth of a turn or a quarter turn. In this case, we're going to go half a turn. And this is for a hydraulic cam. If it was a solid cam, you would actually put it on base circle, and you would put a feeler gauge in there, and you would set it to the feeler gauge, and you would have lash all the time. That's why solid cams tend to be a little more noisy. So I've got a roller cam here that came out of the Chevelle. It's seen better days. I don't want to talk about it. So what's base circle? Base circle is basically the part of the camshaft that's where the valve's going to be closed. So if I'm looking at it and I think about a circle from here all the way around to here, the valve's going to be closed. When it starts going up the lobe, you're not on base circle anymore. So as soon as the lobe starts, all bets are off. You can't adjust it. You can't do any kind of measuring. You can't do anything. You want to do all your valve train adjustment and measuring on base circle. As soon as you get to the lobe, it's not on base circle anymore, and it's not going to be an accurate adjustment. So I'll do one right now for you. All right, let's just look at cylinder number 1 for right now. Let's ignore everything else. Let's look at one cylinder. Now, I've got an intake valve and I've got an exhaust valve. So I know that on a 4-stroke engine, I have 4 strokes: intake, compression, power, exhaust. So suck, squeeze, bang, and blow. Right now, it looks like my exhaust valve is slightly open. So that means the piston is on its way up and it's pushing out exhaust gases right now. If I was to rotate the engine, that exhaust valve is going up still. It's now starting to head back down. See, it's going down. Now the intake has started to move. Now I'm on the intake stroke. We've started the 4 strokes over again. So I'm on intake, which is suck. The piston's on its way down. It should be opening the intake valve right now. It's going to be drawing in air and fuel. So you can see that the intake valve is open. It's going down. There, now it's closed. So right there I should be on the compression stroke. On the compression stroke, both valves are closed, and you can see it looks like both of those are all the way down. So I know I'm on the compression stroke right now. The piston's on its way up. So I can go ahead and adjust both of those right now. I'm pretty confident that those 2 lifters are all the way down. We're on base circle on the camshaft. So I can adjust those until I get 0 lash. Right now I've got a whole lot of lash. That's what I'm talking about. Straight up and down movement. Not back and forth, straight up and down. Move it straight up and down. I'm going to turn that nut till I get all that lash out of there. All that movement out of there. Once I get it to 0 lash, I'll go a half turn more. Okay, now we're still looking at just this one cylinder, cylinder number 1. I've got it on base circle on both. So I'm on compression stroke. So both of those are all the way down. So I'm on base circle. I've tightened these nuts down until I get 0 lash. And so I don't feel any up and down movement. Side to side, yeah, you're gonna have side to side movement. I don't care about side to side. I only care about up and down. So straight up and down, nothing. Straight up and down, nothing. So those are at 0 lash right now. That's what we call 0 lash. Now, take your ratchet, put it on there, and we'll go half a turn. Same thing with this one. Half a turn. There you go. Now, that cylinder's done. Let's look at the next one. We can go to the next one. Look. So this is my intake valve here. That's intake, that's exhaust. Let's do what we did earlier. We know that if we're on the intake stroke, if we continue to rotate the motor, I should finish the intake stroke. See the lifter's coming up. It's going to start going back down. When it gets to the bottom, that's the end of the intake stroke. So now the piston's going to start coming back up. I'm on the compression stroke. If I'm on the compression stroke, there you go. Both of those should be closed right now. So that cylinder is ready to be adjusted. Same thing. Put it at 0 lash, half a turn. Keep going till you get all 8 cylinders finished. Okay, cool. All 16 are adjusted. It's ready to go. It's ready for an intake manifold, valve covers, fuel pump stuff, oil pan, oil pump, a few little things. But it's about ready to go on the test stand and fire it up. Alright, I think that's about it for today. I'm getting called in for dinner, so you know how that goes. But yeah, I'm standing in the way. It's getting pretty close. We'll actually get to hear it run soon, hopefully. So stay tuned.